What's up everyone, it's your boy the Stutter God, and I'm back with another video. Now, due to our current economic situation, I just thought to myself, right? Because this came to me after I received a notification about how there's more jobs open in America due to a decrease in labor force, something like that. And while I read that, well, let's just say my curiosity got the better of me, and so I started to do some googling. Cause in that moment, I remembered the old racist comment about how black people are too lazy to work. Right? That's kind of what it reminded me of. So I decided to take matters in my own hands and find out the truth. And so I started to research, and this is what I found. Black workers still earn less than their white counterparts. Now, this video right here is purely for those who would like to call us too lazy to work and earn money. Because when there's hip hop involved and rap, they get the main idea that when they hear of a black man working, most of the time what pops in their head is a black man doing work in the streets and being a successful drug dealer. Cause that's what I mean. I blame hip hop mainly for that as well. Well, this idea, in my opinion, is due to the demonization and criminalization of the black community, as well as the hip hop culture. Right? The hip hop culture probably had a big part to play in it as well, but it's mainly due to demonization and criminalization of black people. You know, if 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 uh if we're not home, if we're not currently taking care of our kids, we're deadbeats, right? But if we're actually taking care of our kids and out working, well, we're obviously drug dealing, right? Those two things kind of correlate together. Well, mainly in poor neighborhoods, right? Because some people can't grasp the word black and working businessmen. You know what I'm saying? I think it's also due to other successful black men who love to separate themselves from the brethren, right? They be like, oh no, I'm what you call a black man. Those over there, that's a nigga, right? That's what they say. And it does more harm than good. It really does. Because not only are you separating yourself, you're furthering the idea that black people in general just don't have the necessary motivation and or skill set to do well in a work environment, right? They can't be successful, right? I mean, sure, there are some successful black men and women. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ignorant of that part. But it's like, beyond that success, there's still a stereotype, I should say. There's still a stereotype with us in the workforce, right? And that stereotype is still playing strong till this day, I believe. Right? That's just my opinion. Right? I can't say that's a fact because, I haven't actually done real hard. Well, I have done research, but that's mainly in regard with black people in poor schools, and because they're in poor schools, they're not able to get the tools necessary to actually blossom in society, because they weren't given a chance to actually prosper in the correct way. It was something like that. But regardless, this video is right here to tell you the issue regarding those black men and women who do actually take the time to work and get food for their families, who are actually working a 9 to 5 or even more just to get things done, to be able to prosper and bloom within their own community. And even with that being said, they're still treated less than their white brothers and sisters, right? And I just say I don't blame them. I don't blame the people working alongside them. I blame the social structure, right? No, the social government structure, I should say. I blame that. So I don't want you looking at this video and you hear, and when you see white counterparts, you think, oh, well, yeah, it's probably because of them niggas. They probably have a part to play in it. I'm not saying that. They're probably innocent, right? They're probably just doing what they're probably just doing what the brothers and sisters are doing, just trying to grime and get money necessary so their family can stay afloat, right? Not every white person is a racist. I'm just gonna get that out the way now. Not every white person on this earth is a racist. A good majority of them are pretty swell. Or actually good people. I know a few. Shout out to my man Claire and his family. Yeah, I call him Claire for a reason. But yeah, shout him out. Cause he a real one. And several of my other friends, but I'm not gonna name them. Claire is not actually his name, but I'm not gonna get that info out. But anyways, they sold me, and a lot of other people, not just them, but they sold me that white people aren't always going to be your enemy. They're not out to get you, right? That's what I'm saying. I'm not targeting white people as a whole race. I'm targeting those who practice white supremacy. That's who I'm targeting. That's who I'm targeting. And not every white person practice white supremacy. That's unrealistic. Unrealistic. So I'm going to get that out of the way now. What this sold you, it sold you that the government we're working for still don't give two shits about us. That's what this sold you. It's the government's fault in how corporations act, right? The ones in control is to blame, not the people working alongside you. I just wanted to get that out of the way and be perfectly clear with where I stand on that. I don't want to give no illusions. I don't want there to be chance. I don't want there to be any misunderstandings, with this being said. I don't want no misunderstandings on where I stand with the community. Zero misunderstandings. I am pro-black first, but I'm pro-people second. Right? I will always stand for my black community. But if I'm not doing that, I'm standing for everyone else. Doesn't matter who you are. I got your back. It just says I have to take care of my people because we're struggling we're struggling the most, honestly. Like, honest to God. I'm not even trying to be a jerk when I say that. I'm not trying to play the victim card. But we're struggling the most because of a lot of factors. Not only we, but several other minorities. We're struggling the most. And right now, what's happening? What happened with the Asian community was favoritism. That's what it was. It was favoritism. Because while we were being attacked for decades, and while we were being number one in hate crimes, while we were being number one in the crimes against race, everyone else was just minor. Like, hold on, guys. Okay, so while we were too busy being targeted the most out of every other race, meanwhile you have Asians not even having it that rough. The highest out there that I've seen was 3.5. Well, no, it was 5.5 actually. That's the highest it went. But of course, 2020, it actually rose a lot. So I'm interested in seeing how that turns out when the data actually is released. No, but that's favoritism regardless. Because we, as a black society, we were being attacked for decades. And there was no protection bill for us. Zero. And like that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about targeting white supremacy and societal injustice. That's what I'm talking about. Before that said, let's actually get started and see what it says. As employees in the U.S. tackle issues around racism, fresh attention is being given to the racial wage gap and why black men and women in particular still earn substantially less than their white counterparts. Nearly 56 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act, we find equal pay to equal work is still not a reality, noted Jackson Groover, a data analyst at comparison data and software firm PayScale. Last year, PayScale analyzed differences in earning between white men and men of color using data from a sample of 1.8 million employees surveyed between January 2017 and February 2019. Among the findings, Grosvenor reported even as black or African American men climb the corporate ladder, they still make less than equally qualified white men. They are only racial ethnic group that does not achieve pay parity with white men at some level. Parity? I think that's what it says. The study found that black men had the largest uncontrolled pay gap relative to white men when comparing the average earnings of black men and white men in the U.S. On average, black men earned 87 cents for every dollar a white man earned. Hispanic workers had the next largest gap, earning 91 cents for every dollar earned by white men. On the other side of the earning spectrum, Asian men typically earned 1.5 $1.15 for every dollar earned by a white male worker. Better news was found in the controlled pay gap, a comparison of pay for black men and white men with the same experience and education doing the same job in the same geographic location. This approach showed that black men earned 98 cents for every dollar earned by white men with the same qualifications. While the difference may seem small, when a 2% difference in pay is compounded over the course of a career, it adds up to black men taking home significantly less pay than their white male peers. To put it in perspective, the median salary of a white man in our sample is $72,900, I think. The controlled median pay for black or African American men is thus $71,500. Governor said this suggests a $1,400 difference in pay that is likely to attribute to race. An opening gap. Governor attributed much of the racial gap pay to an opportunity gap and occupational segregation. When we look at the opportunity gap, we find men of color have higher rates of holding individual contributor jobs than white men. He noted the study found, for instance, that a larger percentage of black men, 63%, and Hispanic men, 61%, held individual contributor roles compared with 56% of white men who weren't in management. Even when they hold management positions, black men are paid less than their white counterparts. Exclusive level black men earn 71 cents for every dollar white men with the same qualifications took home. Pay scale found. Even more concerning, the racial wage gap widened as black men moved up the corporate ladder. The difference may be partly attributable to occupational segregation, meaning that black men are more likely to work in industries that generally pay less, such as social services, in comparison with white men in senior positions. Black women wage gap. So this is all for my sisters out here. All for my sisters. Comparing what women of color are paid to what white non-Hispanic men make demonstrates the enormous economic impact of the double burden of sexism and racism, wrote Brandy Temple, a public policy fellow at the nonprofit National Women's Law Center, NWLC, and Jasmine Tucker, Director of Research at the organization, in online post. NWLC calculates based on the U.S. Census Bureau current population survey for 2016 revealed that white men comparing all men and women who work revealed that when comparing all men and women who work full-time year-round in the U.S., women were paid just 80 cents for every dollar paid to their male counterparts. But the wage gap was even larger when looking specifically at black women who work full-time, year-round. They were paid only 63 cents for every dollar paid to white non-Hispanic men. This gap, which amounts to a loss of $21,101 a year, means that black women have to work more than 19 months until the very last day of July to make as much as white non-Hispanic men did in the preceding 12 months calendar year, Temple and Tucker observed. NWLC also found that Black women make up 10% of the low-wage workforce jobs that typically pay less than $11 per hour, or about $22,880 annually, while they make up the 6.2% of the overall workforce. Black women serve the high-wage workforce jobs that they pay more than $48 per hour, or about 100,000 annually, is less than half their representation in the overall workforce. So this is some data right here. Black women who work full-time year-round in low-wage occupations were typically paid about $21,700 annually compared to the $36,000 typically paid to white non-Hispanic men in these occupational NWLC found. This gap translates to a loss of $13,300 each year to the wage gap, more than enough to pay for an entire year's worth of rent or more than a year and a half of child care costs, Temple and Tucker noted. Among workers in high-wage occupations such as lawyers, engineers, and physicians, black women who work full-time year-round were typically paid about $70,000 compared to the $110,000 typically paid to white non-Hispanic men in the same jobs. This amounts to an annual loss of $40,000 each year, or $1.6 million over a 4-year career. Oh my God. Whew. This is getting serious. Educational earnings. Even after completing undergraduate and graduate degrees, black and Hispanic workers earn less than non-Hispanic white workers with the same or often less education, said Roy. I can't pronounce that. Skip, a partner at FinNow Research, which helps companies respond to the demographic and cultural drivers that influence consumer decisions. In a May 2020 column for the website Market Inside, this nigga wrote that the numbers are sobering. Sobering. Y'all know what the fuck I mean. I ran the Census Current Population Survey 2018, median income levels by race and bachelor degree attainment, and found that black and Hispanic bachelor degrees holders earn nearly a quarter less than Asian and whites with equal level of education. Here's the John right here. Okay. While some undergraduate majors lead to higher wages, and Asian students were more likely to major in science, technology, engineering, and math (STEM) subjects, for instance, that doesn't explain why wage differences exist more broadly, this nigga noted. Even among black and Hispanic workers who have earned professional degrees, their incomes still don't break 6 figures. White and Asians, however, double their incomes by earning professional degrees, allowing them to make well over $100,000 a year, this nigga noted. Said. The NWLC analyst found that black women with a bachelor's degree were typically paid $46,694, just under what white non-Hispanic men with only a high school degree were paid, $46,729. Black women have earned a master's degree to make slightly more, $56,072, than white non-Hispanic men with just an associate degree, $54,620. That's unacceptable right there. That's completely unacceptable. We got some numbers right here. No high school. Then we got one with high school degree. Then we got associate degree, bachelor degree, master's degree. I'm gonna leave it right here for a second. Okay. Y'all can look at that yourselves if you want. Because I know I'm not going to pronounce all that while I'll continue to read afterwards. I'm good. Confronting the problem. Although workers of all races on average earned high wages in 2018, then in 2000, this nigga pointed out that every level of wage distribution, the gap between black and white wages were larger in 2018 than it was in the 2000s. The data showed the racial wage gap can be overcome, he said, if policymakers are committed to taking actions such as stepping up enforcement of employment anti-discrimination laws, offering tax incentives for minority enterpriser and business workers. Employees should consider taking these steps. Performing pay audits. While pay audits have become common to address unconscious bias against women, racial biases should not be overlooked. Employees should perform statistical self-audits of pay decisions and review policies regarding starting pay, allowing pay difference, merit pay increase, and promote pay increases to root out patterns of racial bias that must be unintentional on the part of managers. Not asking applications about their past earnings. According to new research from Boston University, salary history bands can successfully close both gender and racial gaps. After salary history bands were passed, wages increased for job changers by 8% for women and 13% for black people. Salary history bands. Do work. You know what? I'm gonna stop there. Bro. If y'all interested in more, it will be linked below. But I'm not gonna read all that, bro. I already read all that already, bro. I'm good. I'm stopping here. But with all that said, I want y'all to take note about the advice they had about it. Like, instead of complaining, they actually suggested they suggested solutions that could very well solve the issue instead of just complaining about it. That's what I like the most, right? Because you see, the problems we have in America can easily be solved if you all just try hard enough. But that's not the case. That's really not. On both sides. And that's the sad part. Like, we love to point out, as a people, we love to point things out and complain about it, which makes zero sense to me. Why complain about something that can be easily fixed? Right? It can be easily fixed within an hour. But instead of doing that, you'd rather just complain, and not actually solve the underlying issue. Because most issues can be solved, but y'all don't want to do that. The president don't want to do that. The governors don't want to do that. The people in Washington don't want to do that. Republicans, Democrats, nobody wants to do any of that. They say they want to, but no one does anything. Not a damn thing. And that's why I believe action instead of words. Because words can only get you so far in life. Let me see that action, bro. Let me see what you're about. Let me see how you move. Come on now. With all that said, guys, I want to thank everyone for the 101 subscribers. And I'm actually planning to do a live stream sooner or later. One of these days, I'm going to do a live stream. Before that said, I hope everyone's having a good day. Black first. Keep y'all head up. Peace.